This video is sponsored by Rocket Stock. When light shines into your lens, you get a flare. Sometimes it's unwanted, other times we even add a flare in post. So let's see which kinds of flares there are and how to work with them. Hey folks, it's Jordy here for Cinecom.net and welcome to Creative Tuesday, a weekly series where we share some exciting new tips for filmmakers. Now, there are three types of flares. The first one are the real deal, where you film into a light source. Depending on the type of lens, light source, and environment, your lens flare will look different. You get the most realistic results, but the flare is baked into your shot, meaning that you can't remove it afterwards. So the next thing that we can do is make use of stock flare. And these are flares recorded against a dark background. And by setting your blend mode to something like screen, your editing software will remove that black and only show the flare. You can find such flares all over the internet, so you can look for a specific style that you want. Now, our sponsor Rocket Stock has multiple of such packs in their library, such as Lucent Precise, and these are recorded in 4K resolution using the Zeiss Super Speed lenses, giving over 110 super sharp spherical lens flares. To find out more about this high-quality premium pack, make sure to hit the first link in the description below. Now, such flares can also be modified. You can change their color, position, shape, and more. We actually have a dedicated tutorial about that, which you can find a link to somewhere in the description below. And then finally are the generated flares. Now, these are created from an effect. In Premiere Pro, you have the lens flare effect, but it doesn't look so great. You could also add a ramp or 4-point color effect to a matte, change their colors, and then blend the layer. Now, you can make these look a lot more realistic than that lens flare effect. Now, why would you want to use lens flares? A first idea is to use them as a transition, add a short flash in between two clips, and this is actually used quite often in music videos. Other times, it's just a gentle glare coming into your shot to create a warm summer look, or a cold look when going for a blue-hued flare. You also have the typical anamorphic flares, which creates that cinematic blockbuster look. So different types of flares can create different looks and add a visual story to your films. Now, important is that you only apply lens flares when it makes sense. If you have only frontal lighting and suddenly a flare pops in, that's just unrealistic. There has to be either a light source visible in your shot or at least light coming from the back. Now, when you move your camera, it's also best that you animate your lens flares. Let it fade in and out, or even animate its position. If your camera or light source moves, then so should your flare. And finally, I want to talk about emphasizing light sources. Let's say that someone is on the running for a madman trying to run him over with a car. And suddenly that car pops up as the man turns his lights on. Now, these lights are considered hostile to the main actor. So in order to make those lights even more powerful, I'm going to add a lens flare to that shot. And you can do this with explosions, two lightsabers hitting each other, and so on. Now, lens flares are fun to work with, but don't overdo them. Not every project needs to have lens flares, and definitely not every shot. It needs to have a specific purpose. And there are many occasions where you want to avoid having lens flares, and one of those is during a static interview. Now, when filming on a tripod and you have a flare in your shot, that flare will sit there the entire interview. If it's subtle, it's not a big problem, but when there's a stain in your shot, it gets pretty annoying. You could try to move your backlight, but if you don't want to do that, you could use a MatteBox. And these vary from $50 over to $5,000. The difference is in functionality and build quality. But if you only want to use it to block flares, then the cheapest one will already do that for you. It helps you to flag the light which creates that flare. An alternative is to use black wrap or CineFoil, and this is just aluminum foil painted black, which you can wrap around your lens and shape into a large sun hood. And that was the story behind the flare. I have some links to some MatteBoxes and that CineFoil in the description below. And for more information about the Rocket Stock flares, you can click the first link. Thank you all so much for watching, and like always, stay creative.
So, I haven't washed my car in years, and they're expecting a storm coming, so I'm going to soak it with some soap. Well, that's a bummer. It appears that the big storm is going around our town. Damn it.